Well, good morning, good afternoon, and happy Monday. The first full week of 2026, and today was pretty slow. Now, today we're going to be walking through exactly how to know when to strike and when to sit back because sometimes that obvious stock just is not there, and today was one of those days where the obvious stock just wasn't there. And so you had some stuff moving today. Some volume was definitely still there, but there just wasn't the right stock. Nothing was really too clean, nothing to really focus on. And so for that reason, volume is dispersed and you're just sort of stuck back and forth. So let's go ahead and dive into it. We didn't really have a whole lot to look at today. I had two things from pre-market that I was watching, and those two things were MNTS and MOBX. The MOBX float was massive, and we weren't able to trade that because the game plan here today on MOBX was to watch for the break to the upside. We had this, sort of tightening wedge going to the bell, and this looked pretty good because we had this nice flat top off the high, putting in place this range off the lows. If it got breaking out over this past recent high, let me show you here. I wanted to see it over this recent high, right? I wanted to get breaking over these recent highs for a possible trade over VWAP to get back up into that previous high of day, which of course it never broke out, so didn't trade it. And so that was crap. Never really did anything. And I wasn't really looking forward to it either because you got to think we had a massive float here. Doesn't really fit my stock selection criteria, so I couldn't really do a whole lot with it. Well, then we had MNTS. And now MNTS, I was able to play a little bit today. There wasn't really a whole lot here either. Now, this comes out of market open. And what I, of course, recognize here from pre-market is, again, it's just real churny. Look at this. I'm looking for a breakout at the bell. I take the first breakout there, and again, it's a little bit extended. Again, we're super extended away from VWAP, which I don't love. I come in with a half size at market open. I played off the 1 minute pullback. Again, stop loss. I'm risking off the bottom of this range here, and so again, my risk is super wide. I'm wanting a much lower entry. I take a little bit of a starter with half size. I'm able to take it there from, as you can see, 1050 back to about 1065. And again, then it makes a new about $1 move a share that I don't catch because I don't love my entry. I just don't really feel confident in the trade. And so then I get out of that and take my profits. So at that point, I'm sitting here with 20 cents a share of profit on the first trade with a half size position. I'm starting the day extremely small green to break the ice. Then it breaks. Then I take a couple more wins off the 90 MA. You can see here it pulls back, and I try to take it for the break back up to that previous high because we had range here. It was 1250 today, so this thing looked pretty good. So I take it here off the pullback, 1110s, get back up 1140s, and able to do a little bit of something here twice. Which, as you can see here, both the 9 and 20 both stacked here over price. As price breaks to the downside, leave it alone. As price reclaims, taking off the pullback. I got a bad fill on this entry here. Which, speaking of bad fills, this was a nice trade here nonetheless. So the issue this morning at market open, for whatever reason, there was some lag in the quotes. And so looking at one screen, and it's showing 1050 already. Then I go look at my other screen, it's showing 990. And I'm like, oh, what is even happening? What's the right price? And so we had some delayed quotes this morning. I don't know what it was about. It was right at market open, then it cleared up, but super strange. And that's never fun either. That was again on MNTS this morning too. I don't know if it was across the board, but nonetheless, MNTS, I had some delayed quotes at the bell. And the bigger thing with this one too is this had a 1.5 million share float, but I'll say this about VRME today too, which we're going to look at here next, that I actually traded quite well today, was it didn't trade like a 1.5 million share float. That was my issue with this today, is it didn't trade like it had a 1.5 million share float. I don't know if it's share price. I don't know if it's just the personality of the stock. I'm leaning towards personality because VRME also traded like crap. And so the personality of this stock, the way it was trading, was just not super clean. So I don't love that because it shows a 1.5 million share float. But if you told me this stock had a 40, 50 million share float, I would have believed you today, 100%. You would have 100% believed you. And so price action just wasn't great. And of course, left alone as it broke back beneath the 9 and 20. But moving on over to VRME, and we're going to go over TMDE as well, the leading gapper currently of the morning. I was able to trade quite well today. And, despite the lack of opportunity out there, I'll tell you, this one actually traded it didn't trade well, but it gave proper resolution. I was able to get good reads despite the choppiness of price action. And so despite it being a $1 stock with a 10 million share float, again, it didn't look like it. It felt very heavy, very choppy, very rigid. It wasn't great. And so again, I don't have that conviction here either. But anyways, what we have here, we have these lower highs going on into the open, right? And so we are looking for a break back to the upside. And so what I realize here is, look at this. We've got these lower highs and these lower lows. So I try to play it here initially where I get back over VWAP in that 90 MA, and I try to take it off these pullbacks. I make a couple bucks here. You can see I took it off the pullback, got to move back up into the top of this range, but it just looks so heavy, so I just cut it for profit because that looked quite nice. And I was looking for a move back up into, top of its range. Well, okay, that didn't work out. Took a very small profit, and then it tries to get going again later. And so as this tries to get breaking out later, you can see it breaks trend to the upside. Right, it breaks trend to the upside, pulls back, confirms off the 90 MA, pulls back once more. Now I know, okay, cool. So price pulled back, confirmed the break of trend, Let's try and take a pullback. And so we notice it has this past level of support form. So as it pulls back, I take the entry. And that's the thing with this today that you have to understand about the way the stock was trading is, again, 10 million share float. And here I was in at 109, risking like 107. I had 2 cents of risk. And it's like, this is a dollar stock, y'all. This is a dollar stock. I got to move back up into the high of day, which is right up into, you can see here. I got to move back up into the high of day, back up into like, what was it, 115? And take a full profit. And so I'm able to get 6 cents a share out of that from risking about 2 cents. And so again, for a dollar stock with a 10 million share float, this is weird. I don't love price action, so I'm taking what I can get. And then again, later this morning, you can see same thing happens. I play the breakup trend. You can see here, downtrend, breaks underneath the 9 and 20. It reclaims the 9 and 20, pulls back off the 9. I take it, risking off the 20 EMA for the curl back up higher. And again, I get that perfectly, and I'm able to take it, again, quite well. You can see entry here was 123. Stop loss goes to the bottom of this last candle at 120, so 3 cents of risk. And I got to move here to about $1.27. So again, that gives you about a 5-cent move. So there were some opportunities on this today. I wish it was much cleaner. These very grindy, heavy names, I hate trading. And sure, I was able to trade it well today. Took my 2 wins on it, or I guess you could say 3 wins on it. And even on MNTS, took a few small wins on it. Base hit day. But, it wasn't really getting anything going because looking around, you've got to understand when volume is dispersed, there's no obvious stock. Your resolution's gonna, a resolution in your direction is gonna lack. Because volume is not funneled anywhere. Those traders out there are not looking at that one stock and saying, oh yeah, this is the stock for today. This is the stock that we have to be watching, So whenever volume is dispersed, you're not getting that clean follow through. You're not getting those clear trending moves. So today was a day for base hits. Today was a base hit day. And unless you see that obvious opportunity, what you've got to understand is you got to size down. You got to size down. You got to tread light. You got to come and play defensive. And what so many don't understand is they'll come in here and treat every single day like it's the same exact day, treat every single trade like it's the same exact quality setup. And they'll come in and just take full size every day. And then wonder why they're not profitable or making a lot less money than they should be. When conviction there, when the overall environment is not there, read the room. Size down. If the market is there, okay, let's size up and get to full size, half size, whatever. But there's not a day for that, unfortunately. And that's just how it crumbles. So some days, that's just how it is. And today was one of those days where you can't really come in and expect to do a whole lot with the lack of quality setups out there. Sure, you can make some money, but it's not expected to be a massive green day because of the quality of those setups. So accuracy today was on point, but today it was a must because with that slim profit margin today, because of how little moves we got out there, it's just like, you got to have that high accuracy to hold yourself above water. And today just took win after win after win after win. It was able to at least lock it in today. So that pretty much sums the day up. Not really a whole lot to write home about, but a day where we just had to come in, just stay picky, wait for the most obvious setup to come along, which never really came along. Took some good A+ setup, small size, kept the start of the week green. I'm looking forward to the rest of the week, though. Super, super stoked. And as always, if you did learn a thing or two from this video, make sure to subscribe for daily content just like this. And as always, make sure to claim your 7-day free trial down in the description below to watch me trade these stocks in real time every single day and get alerts, education, chat room access, watch list, scanners, journals, news, Momentum AI, and so much more. And that being said, I will catch you there, and I'll catch you back here tomorrow. Let me know in the comments below how you did today. Hopefully you had a pretty good day, although it was pretty slow. But let's hope for a much more opportune Tuesday. The market's still hot, but we just need the right stock.